Alright everyone, I'm back after a little bit of a hiatus for a casual game of Twilight Struggle. So today we are playing against Shaper Unlimited in a 90-minute US plus 2 random game. I got the US, so let's see how things go here. So this hand is a little rough on ops. He sets up the normal way. Oops. What do we want to headline here? I'm almost tempted to headline Europe's scoring, just because this hand's so low on ops. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to get France, and Suez and de Gaulle can bite me here. I imagine I'll be playing Fidel early, so I can trigger CIA. Hold card's going to be D-stall if I don't get blockaded. Yeah, I think, well, if he headlines socialist governments, then Europe's scoring becomes a little more problematic. Although it becomes more problematic if he headlines it and then coups Italy and succeeds. Well, duck and cover is obviously out because it would get me a measly 1 victory point. It would protect Europe from a socialist government's coup, but I don't have the ops to grab France and get domination, so that would be a waste of 3 ops. You know what? I think we're gonna do Olympic Games. We're gonna go semi all out for Europe domination here. We'll see how that goes. So he goes with blockade in the headline. Now that's interesting. That tells me he might have a not great hand. That tells me he also does not have socialist governments or Red Scare. He could be holding D-call here and was using blockade to draw out one of my few high up cards to protect against a counter coup. China card. Alright. Well, I think the play here is to continue our move on Europe. That also protects against an Italy coup, although if he's going to do that, he would have done it already. But that makes him definitely not want to do it now. If we take a space shot, it'll be Vietnam. That's not surprising. Let's see, holding de Gaulle as well. Asia. So I'd like to hold Truman in case of de Gaulle, so it looks like we're going to have to grab UK with Nasser. He obviously knows I have Europe scoring now. But fortunately, the only two events that can really hurt me there right now are socialist governments, which we're pretty sure he doesn't have, and de Gaulle, which he could have. He could also just walk in East Germany with a 2-op card. That would be painful. Although I could event Truman. I might end up having to op Vietnam here. But that's not terrible with DEFCON at 5 still. I have to imagine he has to coup Iran at some point. This is an interesting hand on both sides. Warsaw Pact. So well, do we event Truman? No. Keep that around in case of de Gaulle. So now he's got Middle East domination. This isn't going very well here. But if we can get out of this with a Europe domination scoring, I won't feel too bad. There's the Italy coup. Oh boy. Okay, so he's going to get 4 points for military ops here. In Thailand. And if he's perceptive, he's going to walk into France or Italy with a 2-op card. Alright. Well, that could have gone much worse. I mean, it went pretty bad as it was, but at least we got Europe domination, which, like I said, was really the whole goal of that hand. And now we're going to have to make up some ground, which looks like we might be able to do here. Um, got some good ops. Jeez. Um, Alright, let's see what we want. We can do containment or red scare. So I have 3 of the 5 4-op cards available in early war, which tells me we're going to have to do red scare here. Socialist governments. DEFCON's back to 5. So we're going to need to make sure we get our mill ops this turn. Egypt looks like an appealing coup target. That's nice. That's nice. That'll give us France back. Or no, it won't, because he took one out of UK. Alright, so let's start making our way to Thailand here. So I'm thinking my next play is to maybe poke a feeler into Angola or Algeria to see if I can tempt him to coup there, and then I can walk into Thailand. Middle East scoring. Not much could be done there. 7 points. Okay. So the good news is all the scorings are gone, I guess, if you want to call that good news. Korean War is still out there. D-Stall is in the discard pile, so I can play Romanian Abdication without giving him fuel for that. Although he could still pull stuff out of there, so that's not a huge deal. So yeah, let's go with Romanian Abdication, save some of my ops. And then maybe we think about holding containment for turn 3. Alright. No. Yeah, we'll do that. Gotta start maybe taking a couple chances here. Referring to South Korea. I don't want to spend 3 ops to take Taiwan and fully protect myself. So he's spacing twice now. I don't really have anything to space with. Alright, so I think the next thing to do is to do that under Red Scare. I doubt he's going to be able to coup that all the way down. And then we can grab our mill ops by coupping Egypt. And we'll do that with nuclear test ban. Interesting. Well, it's good to see defectors back in the mix for the reshuffle. We're going to get our ops now, as discussed. That's not great. So Marshall Plan is still out there. I expect that to go to space if he has it. 5-year plan with CIA. Okay. So what would he do with that? He could coup Panama or one of my African countries. So maybe I want to coup Egypt now. So we can't do that. Yeah. There we go. So let's see what's left in the deck here. Formosan, Marshall Plan, Arab-Israeli War, De Gaulle, Decall, Korean War, Cambridge 5, and UN intervention. So obviously if we get Marshall Plan, that's an auto headline. Thinking my play is going to be independent Reds, and I'll dump them both into France to protect against De Gaulle. Because if he gets it, he headlines it immediately, and he can take France. That was not the play I would have done there. So, okay, another thing we could do is we can give him back the China card and do 2 in France, 1 in Thailand, 1 in Israel. So if he coups us, we still have a presence, or at least guys in the Middle East. We wouldn't even have a presence. Which, if he gets Middle East scoring, could be disastrous. But Arab-Israeli war is still out there as well. So we're going to hold on to the China card, I think. And so we get Korean War, UN intervention. We got De Gaulle. And we got Decall. Which means he got all my cards. He got Formosan, Marshall Plan, and then Arab-Israeli War in Cambridge 5. So I think the obvious headline here is duck and cover. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything else better. So let's do that. Cambridge 5, not surprised. So Korean War is going to go to space. De Gaulle will get evented. Um, well, if the Korean War is going to go to space, what are we going to do with Decall? We could UN intervene with Decall. Or Korean War for that matter. It doesn't really matter. We're going to need to grab UK back to reactivate special relationship and reestablish domination. We might want to grab Spain before De Gaulle comes out so he can't get an easy non-battleground. Wasn't totally sold on spending 3 opps and non-battlegrounds on that play, but if he has Europe scoring, put the pressure on him a little bit. We know he has Marshall Plan, so that's going to space. So we're gonna want to start spreading out of Thailand, overprotecting it. Okay. So that's both the France trouble cards gone. Socialist governments is going to have to be played and dealt with as an empty action round. Maybe he plays Europe scoring here. I wouldn't surprise that given how many ops he's thrown into the non-battlegrounds here, including Benelux. I don't think I've ever seen a USSR player go there. Which, if he does that next turn, might be a good time to try the space shot. Or it might be a good time to turn our attention to Asia, get to Laos before he can. Or he continues to harass me in Europe and we continue to respond. I'm glad to get into an ops war with him at this point since I have the China card. So there's D-stall. So he's going to go into South America and Nigeria probably. Oh, okay. Very interesting. You know what? This might be the only chance we get to do this, so we're going to do it. That's not good. Alright. So he's still holding on to Marshall Plan and Arab Israeli. He might just let Marshall Plan happen if he doesn't have Europe scoring. Even if he does, he might. It's not. So we have really just 2 ops to spend. Okay. So let's take our space shot now. So we're in a UN intervene with Korean War. And that's probably going to go to Laos and Israel. Be really great if he would play Arab-Israeli War so I could do that a little more freely. I expect him to go to space with Marshall here, because he's holding that Arab-Israeli and one mystery card at this point. Which, given his recent play, could be Middle East scoring. Nope, he would have played it. So there's Middle East. So he's holding Marshall Plan. And didn't take a space shot. And we're into the mid-war. Down 9 points. Could have been worse given that turn 1 start. And we got one small step, which is great to see with a 2-1 space race score. That could be our, well no, grain sales is going to be the headline. Let's not get too crazy. So he's going to coup Thailand. We'll coup Venezuela. Do we want to do Venezuela or Nigeria? Venezuela, I think. We need some access there, so we can't just grab control. Oh, he's going to do some fancy stuff. Okay. So what are the implications of this play? If I play Europe's scoring, scores even, DEFCON's at 4. I get a coup, unless he has duck and cover. If I don't, DEFCON goes to 3, I keep Thailand. Thailand is useful in 2 scorings right now, and I have one of them. If I give him Italy, would I ever get it back? Probably not, because he's pretty well protected from brush wars. Country count is in his favor. because of all those ops he spent on non-battlegrounds. But I would like, well, okay. Asia domination's not a sure thing because India and Pakistan could very well go his way for the rest of the game. Special relationship. It'd be great if NATO was active right now, but it's not. I think we're going to return it here. And we're going to get a coup. Then if he coups back, we can just take Italy. Okay, so we're going to want to play one small step as soon as possible. We're going to want to use 5-year plan to grab these 3 countries. We also want to grab Burma. We're going to need to spread out in South America. I have to imagine he takes Italy here, in which case we coup Nigeria and make a play at Africa control. Another thing we could do if he takes Italy is event John Paul, just to have him spend some more time. And that'll activate solidarity for the late war. Although if he takes Italy, we gotta take that coup and go for Africa control, I think. Especially with Decall in the discard pile already. Okay, so he's taking Italy. What else did he do with it? Italy and Denmark. Okay. So he's going to score Europe here. And then we'll use Che while it's not useful to him. Or we do one small step before he spaces. He might not score Europe here, since it's safe for a while. Country count, yeah, I'm not catching up there. Even if I take both Turkey and Canada. This might be a good time to cash in the China card. I can grab a lot of stuff in Southeast Asia. Yep, there's Europe. this. We need to get those victory points. Then we'll use Che. Get Africa control. Just in case he has that scoring card. Although if he has it, he'll play it right now. It's too bad he got Marshall or ABM that hand. So, okay, we need to get these points. We need to get these points. And we should get Panama and get a presence in Central America. So I think we have the ops to do all those things. We need to get a presence in South America too, obviously. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Why the non-battleground? So he wants domination. Maybe that's why he did it. So we will do this. And we'll do it there to protect against brush war. So, okay. I'm thinking about eventing Alliance for Progress, if I can get Brazil. Okay. That doesn't really affect me at all. I could even try realigning him out here. -1 though. I don't know. With a presence already in there, I don't know if it's worth it to do that. Let's do do this so we can't get realigned out ourselves. Alright, so we'll do 2 ops from special relationship into the Philippines and Brazil. We'll do 2 ops from John Paul into South Africa and play Southeast Asia. Not necessarily in that order. It's a lot of games. Ooh, that hurts. So now if he has Central American scoring, we're very concerned. Okay. Well, this is a pretty decent hand. The only problem is I don't see any real good headlines here. Cuban Missile Crisis, I guess. Lone gunman's always a concern. Liberation theology's going to space. Yeah, I guess. Be right back. Gotta fire up some more coffee. And we're back. Let's see what he did. Ooh, Africa's not looking good. Okay. So he flipped both of them. Okay. Um, well, we could flip Angola back. Then if he has Portuguese Empire crumbles, it's going to take even more work. Venting OAS is something that could happen. Venting Panama is something else that could happen. Abandoning the idea of African control, it's not palatable. Hmm. No. I guess we could do Voice of America. Something like this. Then Costa Rica. Could do it down there. I don't really want to draw attention to South America right now, though. Since I have OAS and I can try and realign them out of Chile. Allende's still out there. Let's do this. He has to respond to that. So, okay. Flower power goes to the discard. And the Voice of America goes to the discard. And now, since we have Lone Gunman, we're going to want to hold on to the China card as long as we possibly can. I think our next play, if he doesn't go to Argentina, will be to OAS there. Another consideration would be flipping Zaire with East European unrest. I would love to do some AR-7 shenanigans, breaking a Europe country and headlining Truman, but I don't have the ops. I'm gonna need 4 ops to get into Italy. Liberation theology is definitely going to space, but we don't need to do that right away. He went offline. Well, hopefully he shows back up. I wasn't gone for that long, was I? I just made a cup of coffee. I mean, I guess if he did go offline, I'll take the victory on time. I feel like I have a decent shot at winning this game, but, 9 points down isn't a great position to be. How many times has he forfeited? 34 out of 570? I think he'll come back. Well, if he is truly offline and this game ends, I'm going to cut off the video so you don't have to sit here for 54 minutes. So, yep. I may or may not be talking to you soon. I'm going to mute my microphone now till he comes back. And if he takes a while, well, maybe I'll be able to edit out the offline parts of the video. So, yep. Muting now. Hey, he's back. That's good. So, okay, let's continue on. And my worst fears came true, in that he had Portuguese Empire crumbles. So now the question is, we had a few things in mind. We were going to OAS into Argentina. We were going to possibly flip Zaire. I could still flip something, and it would likely be Angola now. I could also do something like this, which is what I'm leaning towards. And I could also, with that other op, start creeping towards India. Just give him something else to think about. Although I don't have the ops to take India. So I don't know if that's the right play with that other op. Although, yeah, let's do that. That'll at least make him think about having to go into Pakistan. And then I can just, even if I just throw one op into India, that threatens a China card flip. This also gives us African domination, which the John Madden in me wants to say, if you can't get control, you want domination. So he's trying to brute force his way in here. And I'm not sure there's a whole lot we can do about it. Because we're going to have to event OAS, and then we have a bunch of one-op cards. And Lone Gunman's unplayable. Liberation Theology is going to have to go to space. Alliance for Progress. We'd like to event that. I suppose we could throw all the ops for Alliance for Progress into Algeria. Let's try that. How many ops are left out there that he could have? It's still turn 5, so there's a ton of stuff in the deck. If he has Quagmire, I could be in a heap of trouble if I fail that first roll. Outside of that, the only other 4-up card left, I think, is We Will Bury You. So if we don't do that, we could coup Southeast African states, and we need a 4 to a 6 to stop his domination. We do have Cuban Missile Crisis active, so we would need to remove 2 from Cuba in order to get his mill ops. Normally here I would just take Algeria back, but I'm really concerned about Quagmire. I want to leave myself at least 2 cards. And I can't play the China card with Lone Gunman in hand until if and when he plays Ask Not. So let's stay on the offensive here. So I think the next play is going to be eventing Panama, perhaps, or realigning with Panama and Chile. I don't know. We're getting to the stage of this hand where things are getting yucky. So this would be an even realign. I think we need to try and stop domination here. Hey, NORAD. Okay. I had a feeling he might do something like that with Nigeria. So now, even if I coup, he's still going to have domination. This hand has quickly become awful. We want NORAD active next round, so we can take one of those African battlegrounds back. If he has African scoring now, well, more power to him. So AR6 will space Liberation Theology. Hope he doesn't have Quagmire. AR7 will do something with Alliance for Progress. Maybe event it. Hey, there's that thing. Oh, great. Well, great. That could be game right there. And here goes Africa. that might be the worst ask not I have ever received as the USA player. Alright, so that's over. All that's left to do is to concentrate on South America. So I think what we're going to do is how I learned to stop worrying. Set DEFCON to 2, go to work. We're in a space, we will bury you, or hold Quagmire. We're in an arms race for the event. So next play is going to be realigning him out of Chile with everything we've got. We consider using the China card. We need South American control here. That's the only way back into this game. Okay, so what events are left that can help us? Bear Trap, NATO, nuclear subs, I don't really care about right now. Okay, he's got OPEC. Nothing we can do about that. Carry on with the plan. Whoa. Okay. Gotta love when that happens. Okay, so now we go here. Then we go here. And we do it again. And so now we use U2 to walk into Chile. If he has South America, he's going to play it now. We event arms race. We space something. Play Nixon for the event. Colonial rearguards will be evented. We need to stay in there. Come on. Good rolls. That's fine. I don't care about that. Oh, he's got one more roll. Because of Brezhnev. Alright. Thank you, dice. So how many points is OPEC worth for him now? 4? Is it 4 or 3? I don't remember if Libya's counted in that. Brush war. Okay. Getting some luck here. It's what we needed. So now we're gonna try and grab some VPs. Maybe we should have done colonial rearguards first. Oh well. Yeah, we'll have to do that. We'll have to do colonial rearguards next. Take Burma, reinforce. Well, we don't really need to reinforce Thailand anymore since he gave us the China card back. Something else we could consider. Well, no, we're not going to be able to hold. I was thinking about. Well, no, that one. Yeah, that's a half-baked idea. Okay. So I'm thinking We Will Bury You will be the space card here. That way we can hold Quagmire past the reshuffle, which will happen since there's 9 cards in the deck. Kitchen Debates is active now. If I can play that for the event, I will. So he's probably going to take all those. Okay, he wants a presence. That's fine. So we'll take Mexico to give us a presence down there. So I'm fairly certain he has OPEC. Salt is still out there. Indo-Pakistani War, which is irrelevant if he has it. Willie Brandt. Do I have an extra guy in there? Yep, so that's fine. Puppet Governments is still out there, which is irrelevant. Although I could put them into these 2 guys and try to realign them out of Cuba. Although I don't have the cards to do that with right now. Hey, Gun is back. And so now we know he has Bear Trap, Sadat, OPEC, Indo-Pakistani, Salt, and Summit. Which means he has 3 cards unaccounted for. So I am almost tempted to do a We Will Bury You headline here. To get DEFCON down, and he can't coup South America since he knows I have that scoring card. That would be most of the ops in this hand, though. And it'd be giving him 3 victory points. He could just play Salt in response, but that gives me the time I need to play South American scoring. He could have Junta here. Any other events in South America that would help him? Allende would help him. ABM treaty would help him. Brush war. Missile envy. I would have to give him Quagmire if I do a We Will Bury You headline, which would allow him to probably flip some stuff. So does We Will Bury You protect me against any of that stuff? If he does a Junta and I do We Will Bury You, then he can just, on his AR1, take it over. Odds are he has one of these cards. So let's count how many cards are trouble. Allende. ABM Treaty. Brush War. Junta. Missile Envy. What do we know he has? Any of those cause trouble? No. So there's 43 cards unaccounted for. 5 of them are trouble. And I don't think We Will Bury You really helps me with any of those versus just headlining South America. So we're going to take a risk here. We're going to headline South America. Sadat. Okay, good. Alright, so now that allows us to turn our attention to Africa. I imagine he'll still coup. He might coup Mexico, or he might coup South America. I don't see him cooing Africa here. Yeah, he definitely won't coup South America because it's not going to score again until final scoring. So I'm thinking I might event the puppet governments and just spray a bunch of guys all over Africa. Like maybe Sudan up here, Zimbabwe, and Ivory Coast in case he realized me out of Nigeria. Could even grab Nigeria first. We might have to quagmire ourselves here. Since we're holding lone gunman and we will bury you. Where's containment? It's in the deck. Do I quagmire myself here? It's worth a try. Oh, get rid of NORAD though. Um, we're gonna have to at some point this turn. Just because of the two DEFCON cards. So, might as well be now. See you later, NORAD. So we're gonna hope that the first Quagmire attempt passes so I can space Willy Brandt and hopefully see his headline next turn. Well, he's really considering his options here, as he should. He's got 2 free turns. He can flip whatever he wants. What does he want to flip? He's probably going to go after Asia. Maybe South Korea. He's got a face-up China card. South Korea would turn off KAL, with the late war coming up. It's a pretty good card for me. He could also be looking at flipping both of those African battlegrounds I just took, which, I mean, I'd almost rather he go after South Korea just because I'm holding African scoring. Of course, that also depends on what scoring he may be holding. So where are we at with terms of the score? So he's up 1, he's up 6, he's up 10, he's up 2, I'm up 4, tie, I'm up 5, I'm up 4 because he has the China card. So he is holding salt. I would like to see him play that for the event so I can get rid of lone gunman. Okay. So he's going to finish taking South Korea here. And we'll take our 6 points. And I believe that's the first time we've been up all game. Except for maybe that turn 1 headline when we won the Olympic Games. Arms race. So now that Africa's been played, puppet governance becomes a lot less interesting. Maybe now's the time to take the space shot. Okay. He's still holding Bear Trap, OPEC, and Salt. I have to think OPEC for the events coming soon. I'll be cooing with our man in Tehran to get my ops. Thinking Cameroon. This game is super close. Tied. I'm up 8. I'm up 9. I'm up 5. I'm up 4. He's up 1 and tied game because of the China card. I'm not sure why he's trying to realign me out of there. Why not just coup? And why not try Haiti? Because of Ortega. He'll come up in the late war and take all my stuff out of Nicaragua anyway. Okay. So, I guess we'll take some free stuff. Maybe he has the scoring card. That would make sense, I guess. But still, why not just coup? So he held OPEC and salt. Okay. Let's see what we got here. East European. That's good. Brush War. Also good. Muslim Revolution. Alright. Star Wars. Star Wars. Iran-Iraq War. That's good. Special relationship with NATO active. That's good. Che and Evil Empire. Okay, so headline. I think we want to save East European unrest for late. We could brush war Libya. That doesn't really do a lot of good. We could I could do East European unrest and do boom, 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 which would, since those are really my only 3 good targets, maybe he won't think that removing from Austria is really setting me up for a brush war. Muslim Revolution will have to go to space, either that or Che. Star Wars, we'd like to hold. So there's really not much in the discard pile at the moment. Colonial Rearguards is nice, but Africa's gone. Bear Trap is nice. If I have to, I could do that on my last AR. Special Relationship, I'd like to do that on my last AR to get into India or Italy if the brush war fails. You know what, maybe I do Eastern European unrest in the headline. Oh, he's headlining Salt, which will put DEFCON to 5. So what's he going to salt for? Arms race? Indo-Pakistani war? Why is he doing salt right now? He could be going for arms race. Maybe he's afraid I have war games, but I don't have anything to get the score to 6. puzzling play. In any case, we're going to be able to get rid of Lone Gunman here. Yeah, let's do East European Unrest. And we'll take them out of the aforementioned places. What's he going to sell it for? And why is he still holding OPEC? Could sell it for we will bury you, I guess. I don't get why he held both salt and OPEC past the reshuffle. With these garbage cards in his hand. Did I miss OPEC? Okay, so he salts for we will bury you. He events missile envy. So what's that going to give him? Muslim revolution. That's kind of brutal. Okay, so we're going to coup with missile envy. So that's useless. And then we're going to get rid of Lone Gunman. And then we're going to event Brush War. Do we want to event Brush War first? Probably not, because DEFCON's going to 3 right now. Okay. So let's resolve this. So with that one up, we're gonna probably walk into Egypt, or we could take Israel with it. Doesn't really matter. How much is presence worth in the Middle East? 3 points. So we're going to want to get presence there post haste. So I think Egypt is the way to go, and then no matter what he does, we can. Yeah, he's got Middle East scoring. That's what that play tells me. So next play is going to be Iran-Iraq War, and we'll take Israel. Unless he puts influence in Israel, in which case we coup Libya with Evil Empire. Accuse Egypt. Solidarity. What happens there? Does that go to discard? Yeah. Since John Paul was not played. So now we get our presents. I think that was the right card to use because that war was not going to succeed. Asia scoring. So I think now we do our brush war. Nice. That's huge. That is huge. Now we could even brush war again with Star Wars. Which we could do that to Libya. That would be a good place for it. Then we can easily take Israel and swing Middle East even. Which, as long as South America holds, that could be enough to seal up the game. We're going to want to spend trade of space now, just in case of one small step. So it's going to be trade of space, event special relationship, and then see what happens. ABM treaty for influence. Okay, so he's gearing up for his OPEC play. He may have seen... Well, his next play is going to be OPEC, so I don't think we need to grab Israel immediately, because OPEC's never going to get better for him than it is right now. And really, my brush war might be better off against Algeria, because that would get me African control. So let's go to space with Che now. Fail. So here comes OPEC for, was that 4 or 5 points, depending on if Libya's in there. It is. So OPEC for 5 points. Did he ever play We Will Bury You? No, so he's still got that. He's going to headline that next time, probably. we can, instead of relying on brush war, let's just grab this guy. Okay, now I'm fairly confident this score is in my favor. Let's count them up. So 7 for him, 1 for me, 11 for me, 6 for me, 4 for me, 9 for me, plus the shiny card is 10. We're still seeing his headline. Special relationship's going to be the last play here for the event to get those 2 points. We'll throw the ops somewhere. Maybe Benelux, just to annoy him. Both his France events are gone, so I don't have to worry about that. It's all overprotected. Grain sales to space. So we could even Star Wars for that now. Oh, he's ahead, tied in space now. Okay, so we'll just do this and take our 2 points, and then hope to get ahead on space next turn. Okay, so we got European scoring. That's good. What else we got? We got terrorism. Good to see that's not in his hands. Tear down this wall. Also good. Purging. And Chernobyl. Okay. Okay, so I don't want to headline Europe because at least the reformer's still out there. There could be other stuff that could mess with me in Europe too. He could have Aldrich Games, and if he does, he'll have a nice selection of stuff to get rid of. AWACS is good, but Muslim Revolution's gone, so not as good. I don't think there's any DEF CON trouble cards. He could still headline We Will Bury You here, since we know he's holding that. What other good headlines does he have? He has Aldrich Ames, The Reformer. Those are both always very good headlines for USSR. Junta, Red Scare. It's not a huge deal right now. It's always inconvenient. I don't think he's going to headline We Will Bury You because he wants to coup me in one of these areas I can control. So maybe I do terrorism. Like I said, I don't think there's any DEF CON problems for him, but maybe I'll pull something. I would hate to pull something good for me. You know what, we're gonna do terrorism. Junta, okay. Okay. So, okay, I just realized I was muted. Something I just realized I could do is go for Europe control. I've got the ops. I've got tear down this wall in Chernobyl. Problem is war games. Other problem is Warsaw Pact. Both of those are huge problems. But I think we at least start the process and see what happens. Then if he coups me here, if he coups me, DEFCON goes to 2. Maybe I space first, just to get the points. Let's space first. I think that's the better play. We're going to space this anyway, so... And I can't coup, because if he has war games, it's all over. Okay. So now if he coups, I have to play European scoring, because that's my only route to points. We will bury you for the event. So he's not even interested in cooing, which tells me he definitely has war games. So we gotta play European scoring. That makes Korean War unplayable. Okay, out to space, and he wins the game. Anything I can do for points. Anything at all. Not really. That space shot failing really hurt. Well, unfortunate. Well, that was a good game. Okay, well, I'm going to stop recording now. That was certainly an entertaining game. I feel good about how I played. I feel like a little better luck on that space race. I might have had that one in the bag, but can't get all the dice all the time. So I will see you guys next time.